Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Free Workout Wednesday. This is the 27th workout we've done now, and this week we are doing a leg workout. So we have a pretty cool style of leg workout here. This is sort of similar, not too far removed from the kind of style that I like to use with my leg training. So we start with a single joint movement, a quad movement like a leg extension. That's half to get your legs and knees warmed up and half just to really blitz through some hard quad training and get some muscle fibers fired up in the quads there and get them in shortened position up to the top. Then we have two heavy movements, leg press and a Smith machine squat. Sometimes I do the squats first, sometimes I do the press first. Today we chose to do the press first, just to change it up really. So the press is first, that's a heavy movement, so you got two sets, two chances to make a difference on that, on both of those exercises. Obviously we're warming up before we jump into those. And then we're going to go for a couple more bits of volume. So we've got seated leg curls supersetted, which means back-to-back exercises with heels elevated dumbbell squats. 8 to 12 reps on both of those exercises. That should say, I'll change that now before you get your workout, change the rest times here. So we've got 30 seconds rest between both of these supersets. I should have done that beforehand. There we go, done. So after that we've got some calf presses and some walking lunges with 8 reps on each leg to finish off with. So that's the workout plan. Let's dive into the actual video demonstration that you're here for. So leg extensions to start with. Leg extensions here. Now, what we're going to focus on here is pulling ourselves down with the handles hard into the seat, and we don't want anything moving from the hips, no pelvic tilt either way. And we're just going to focus on getting the knees as extended as possible, ankles as high as possible, and really contracting, getting those quads as short as you can, pulling the knee up as close to the hip as you can, and getting that real contraction through the quad on the front of the thigh. So that's the first thing you do. Drop set that on the last set. And then once you've done that, we're going to move into some heavy work on the leg press here. We're going to have our feet in the middle of the plate, screwing them into the pad. Get out of the way, mate. And drive your heels through the pad hard. And make sure that nothing moves down here. Pulling yourself into the seat again. No pelvic tilt. Try and just keep your ass pressed down into the seat and really work through, as I'm doing there on the old leg press, and then re-rack it. Once you've done 2 sets on there, heavy, we're going to move on to a Smith machine squat. This is just a demo video. Obviously, I wasn't really training here. Screw your feet into the ground, pull your knees out, and try not to, again, sit back too far. Try and keep that pelvis neutral. Don't stick your ass out too much. We're going to try and hit the quads more here. You'll feel it in the glutes as well, but we don't want to be pulling a hamstring or pumping any tension into the lower back. Okay, so once you've done that heavy movement, that's the heavy movement's done. You're going to move on to your seated leg curls. Now here you want to trap your legs in as tight as you possibly can and pull your heels down as hard as you can. Now again, this is a running theme through all your leg training. Don't let any movement happen at the pelvis. Your hips don't want to move up and down. Your pelvis doesn't want to tilt back and forwards. If your pelvis tilts forwards, your lower back extends and we dump all the tension in the lower back. And that's why you probably got a sore lower back if you struggle with that. So that's the first part of that superset. The next part of that superset is a quad movement again. So quite a quad heavy workout this. And let me just pause this while I talk. We've got down there, I can't see if I move my mouse, but we've got a couple of plates underneath the heels. So if you look underneath the heels, I've elevated my heels with some plates, and that's just to give me a little bit more range at the ankle. Most people will benefit from that. You might not, you might be super flexible, but most people, most adults are not in Western society because we spend too much time sitting down. So pop your heels on a couple of plates and you should be able to get more easily down into a greater depth without compromising ankle, knee or hip stability. So that's how we do that. We screw the feet into the ground, pull the knees out and sit down as far as we can. Drive the heels through the floor as if we're doing a leg press like we were earlier. And then you should get a real hard, strong contraction through the quads and the glutes. Once we've done that, move on to our final superset of the day. We're going to go for a calf press here and just take note of the lovely ducky socks I've got on there because I dress very poorly, but my socks are exceptional. So pause at the bottom of the rep there, so you get a full stretch and a full stretch of the calf and really pulling the toes up towards the shins, and then you're going to drive those toes up and away and you're going to pull the heels, consciously trying to pull the heels up towards the knees as I'm doing here, pulling them heels up hard, contracting the quads and coming straight back down again. That's the first part of that superset. The second part of that superset is a walking lunge, which we'll see in a minute once I've finished with this little ducky calf press. So here we are with the walking lunges. I should say second part. Apologies for that. So the walking lunge, you can do it with weights or without weights. A full stride, push through the floor, and keep that chest really tall and erect. And just make sure all the weight's going through the front leg, driving through the heel, not the toe, and you should keep your knees nice and safe. Hope that was useful for you guys. Any questions, of course, just pop me an email back, and I will see you again next week for another free workout Wednesday.